is not necessarily a disclaimer, but more of a reminder, as I had forgot to mention this in the episode when we recorded it, but time codes will be in the description boxes wherever you're partaking in this episode. And I do appreciate your patience regarding the audio. We're able to hear the guest clearly. My audio is a little lacking, but it's definitely going to be better in the subsequent episodes. And I also do ask for patience in regarding the YouTube video, as there were some technical aspects that were happening on my end, but it didn't do anything to the podcast as a whole. So again, just wanted to ask for your patience regarding that, and just remind you of the different sections with this new guest that we have. Now, without further ado, I hope you enjoy this episode as much as we did. Welcome, one and all, throughout time and space, for this episode of Weebs on the Weekends, a podcast where we give a retrospective look at an anime that premiered 10 years ago or more, if they seem to meet we see if they meet the standards of modern day anime. This is what happens when you try to do a new opening on the rip. Today's episode, we are reviewing the 2007 anime Devil May Cry in preparation for the 2025 limited series set to release in April. My name is Sam Martinez. I'm a part-time Weeb, full-time automail mechanic, and today our special guest, I have been very, very blessed to meet this guest through a previous guest of ours here on Weebs on the Weekends. And I say blessed because it's insane how busy this man is, and I was able to catch him when I did. And because he's been doing stuff like joining big podcasting events such as Jack's Podcasters, and been going to invite-only conventions, and because of the work that he's accomplished on his own podcast, known as CinemaVillains. So we here at Weebs on Weekends are honored to have none other than my Cam Cop Sensei. I still said it wrong. Capcom
There you go.
Sensei, Shaggy Black. Oh my goodness, dude. I was trying to land it strong, but
Hey man, it's good. You could take a stumble long as you hit the pose. As soon as you stick the landing, you could stumble a little bit, but you gotta hit the pose.
I know, right?
It can't be no regular pose. It has to be like a JoJo pose, maybe from
Oh yes.
like season 3, bro. Like that's what you gotta do. You gotta hit. Actually, no, you gotta hit the Jonathan Joestar. That's
The
what you gotta do.
Jonathan
Like
Joestar. Oh
you gotta
my
hit the
God,
Jonathan
no.
Joestar. Yeah, you gotta hit the Jonathan Joestar.
Oh my goodness. Well, again, thank you for taking the time to meet with us today, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks. No problem, man. Thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for having me. It's been a long time coming. When I heard you
Yeah.
actually were podcasting, I was like, oh, that's neat. And then when I saw your subject matter, I'm like, wait, why the hell have I not been invited?
I remember that message. I was like, "Yo, well, how long is it gonna take for me to get on the show?"
Yeah, I'm like, brother, like, why? We literally had a whole conversation
I was like, "I
and we
thought we
go
were
from
cool. You're
there.
gonna gatekeep like this? What's going
I'm
on?"
like, say, bro, why haven't you told me this? I've been podcasting since 2012. And like, I'm kind of an OG in this, and yet you have like gatekeeped subject
It was
matter away from
unintentional.
me.
It was unintentional. I assure you. Oh my goodness! But I feel like this would be a good one because, as I said before, like I call you my Capcom Sensei because essentially when
Hmm.
we first met, um, one thing that I had forgot to mention too was that you're very big in the fighting game scene, and I
Hmm.
remember when Street Fighter was coming out, and you were showing me how to play Cammy,
Yeah.
and oh my goodness, and I feel like with this is a good introductory anime to have you on the
Hmm.
podcast because of what Devil May Cry means to Capcom and where it stands overall in
Hmm.
the community. I would say it's just like
Zeitgeist.
zeitgeist. I guess I'm not. I've heard of the word, but I think that applies here.
Think like pop culture in the like, but like you can also in like the video game zeitgeist and where that stuff is.
Yeah.
So that let me clear the air here.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry is probably my favorite video game series of all time.
Oh, okay. So I
To
definitely
the
have the right guy here.
Yeah, to the point to where if I ever had twin boys, I
Oh,
would
no way.
try to name them Dante and Virgil. I'm not kidding. I have a specific boy name that I want
Mm.
for my if I had my firstborn son or everything, but if they come out both twin boys, I'm like I will pivot and I will name them Dante and Virgil.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
no lie. That is how big that series has been to me.
Mhm.
I love Devil May Cry since it was originally um well, folks, I'm not going to give it a breakdown because this is your show, but like
Yeah.
Devil May Cry was when it originally came out as a game in '05. It literally was supposed to be, well, not '05.
I
That
thought
was
it was
DMC 3. It was DMC 3.
2001.
Yeah, it was '01. It was '01. I'm thinking of DMC 3. That was like my favorite Devil
Okay,
May Cry
okay.
game of
Yeah.
all of hands down. But when Devil May Cry 1 came out, it was originally supposed to be the new Resident Evil.
Really?
Um, it was supposed to be Resident Evil 4, but the game got so popular because there is a demo disc in the Resident Evil Code Veronica game that you could play the first stage of Devil May Cry. And originally that game was supposed to be Resident Evil 4, but they pivoted because the character in the game was so popular. So they split it up into its own thing. And I fell in love with the series because of like how stylish it was. The
Yeah.
his Dante as a character is probably one of my favorite characters of all time. Um,
Okay.
I tried it to the point to where I try to use him in Marvel vs. Capcom, but I'm like, he's a little, he's like, I'm like a kid, like Marvel when the Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I was like so hyped that he was in the game. And I tried to use him. I'm like, I am not good with him in this game, but I was like, one of these days I will get good with Dante. And
It's like
but yeah,
I will learn how to
I
use
will get this down. I will get this down and be a certain type of character with him. But like, yeah, and then the anime. So after a few years, the anime dropped.
him.
And of course I was on it because you actually, if you pre-ordered Devil May Cry 4 and you got the deluxe edition, you actually got the DVD of the first 4 episodes.
No way. That okay,
Yeah,
because
I
that leads into a question that I have like a little bit later on because it seemed like there
okay.
was a bit of a relation between the anime and Devil May Cry 4. Um, but
Hmm.
like to not necessarily pump the brakes, but like to put a pin in this,
You're
right?
good.
Let's
Hmm.
so you mentioned that how Dante was like so influential and things like that. But
Hmm.
what we normally do for our first time guests is like we like
Okay.
to have them show us and the listeners some 9 influential anime so that we
Hmm.
can get sort of like a litmus test to like say like this anime is like okay, if I look at these, I know what type of anime to give Shaggy, right? Whereas, like, okay, I look at this list, I know that he'll go nuts for girls in Panzer, right? Or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
just throwing a name out
Yeah.
there.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. I get it.
So,
All right.
yeah, if you wouldn't mind, sir.
Oh no, I do not mind, sir. I was born ready for this. It was funny because you
Yeah.
told me about this prior to the show starting, and I was like, I need how many? I said, okay. I mean, I have more, but cool. So it didn't phase me. But and I was like, but off the rip, these are the 9 anime that pretty much made me or just inspired me the most.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my top 5 all time because those are really catty-corner to what they is, and then I'll add 4 that have like I'll say have inspired me and rejuvenated me to get back into more anime.
Really?
Um,
Okay. So you had a
yeah.
sort of like
So
a renaissance or resurgence of anime.
yes,
Okay.
correct. Because there was a time I wasn't watching like that for real,
Okay.
and then I got back into it like much later. But anyway,
That's fair. Like,
Cowboy Bebop.
oh, Bebop. Okay. So we're starting off with
Yeah.
Bebop. That's pretty strong.
Yep. Yep. Starting off with Bebop.
Okay.
Number 2, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ooh, that's a throwback. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, these first 5 are gonna be kind of old, minus one. Um, Number 3, Outlaw Star.
Okay, okay. That's
Number four. Number four would be Samurai Champloo.
Oh yeah.
And number five, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay. I'm
Those are like all time
I'm kind of surprised because
top.
Brotherhood is a bit of a newer. And when did Brotherhood come out?
That's
No, it was
Brotherhood came.
2011, I think.
Yeah, no, Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Brotherhood came out, but that's kind of like the newest one because all of those, the top four I gave you were like either early
Yeah.
2000s or late 90s and stuff like that. But I um I literally have those type of like animes that I really like. Those shaped me.
Hmm.
Like that's the type of stuff that I like. Brotherhood just was one of those ones that had the best story at the
Okay.
time. Um, and then the other four, these will be one's gonna be older and the other will probably be newer. But Jujutsu Kaisen,
Oh yeah, that's newer. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer,
Okay.
um, shout out to um Vampire Hunter D.
I've heard of Vampire Hunter, but you said Vampire Hunter D. Okay, that seems like
Yeah,
a real.
yeah. To give you an idea, the
Yeah.
40th anniversary starts next month.
All right, all right, all right. So,
Um,
yeah.
and the last one, what is it? JJK, Vampire Hunter D, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia.
Okay, that's pretty solid. I would say out of that list, would you mind? I guess like it runs into the theme too. Would you mind talking a little bit about Vampire Hunter D? I'm not familiar with it. I've heard of
Oh
the art
yeah,
of Vampire. Uh,
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So Vampire Hunter D is based on some novels. I forget. I have to look up the creator's name, but they turned those novels into anime. And we here in America we didn't get Vampire Hunter D until later. Um, like we got it here in 1985.
Mhm.
And when we got it here, like it was one of those movies that like the art style when I saw it pulled me in. The story is literally about like a vampire hunter who's half vampire, half human, and it's post-apocalyptic. Like there are barely any humans on Earth, but the Earth is ruled by vampires.
Okay.
Think literal Castlevania if Dracula won and stayed and just continued to win. And it's that they're the species on they're
Oh,
the dominant
so
species.
similar to Seraph of the End, I think, because I think
Yes.
vampires were like the main antagonists there too. Like they're like you said, the ruling class almost.
Yeah, they're the ruling class. Like it's all upperclassmen and humans are like pretty much fodder. Like they can live, but they're like seen as gutter trash or food in some instance. And just that anime was about like a woman who gets attacked by one of the head vampires, and she doesn't want to turn, but she's like, "Can you take this vampire out? Can you kill this vampire for me?" Um, and D, which is the character's name, goes out and goes through the whole thing, and that the art style was the first thing that got me with that anime.
Yeah.
Then there was a release of um Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which is apparently the best one. Like I had to rewatch it because that movie came out in 2001 here in the States. So like I had to rewatch it, but they said that's one's the best one. But I bring up Vampire Hunter D because like I've rewatched it recently in preparation because we're gonna be doing this on our show for anime.
Oh, no way.
So we're gonna cover it.
Crossover.
Yes, sir. We're gonna cover that, and we are going to like get in depth because it is the 40th anniversary this year of Vampire Hunter D. So like that's the one that I'm gonna look for, and that one again. If you go back, you can actually watch this whole thing on YouTube. Um,
Really?
You
So
can watch it on YouTube.
all of
Yeah,
Vampire Hunter D is available on YouTube.
you can. Yeah, some people have uploaded it and they've uploaded like high def, like real good high def rips.
Hmm.
But when the movie drops, when they re-release the movie here in April, um, they're gonna come out with like a movie that you can buy, and
Oh, okay.
you can have it. It's gonna be like a little high definition 4K re-release and everything. So like that's gonna be dope. I personally can't wait for that. But that was one of those animes that I watched as a kid. I had no idea what the fuck I was watching, and but I thought it was so cool
Yeah.
looking.
Okay. No. So like,
So
yeah. I was just gonna say like it seems like after listening to your list of anime, I can definitely see why you would vibe with Devil May Cry, because
hmm
the first four I was because you mentioned Bebop and you mentioned Samurai
hmm
Champloo, where
hmm
music is a very very big influence, and not only that, they're very stylish as well. And Devil May Cry definitely does go hard in terms of style and with music
hmm
as well. So I can see why you can vibe very, very hard with this franchise.
Yeah.
Oh man. But no, so like again, thank you for giving me those uh, a peek into a looking glass that is Shaggy Black's anime, and because you said that you had like what, like 90 other titles that you had to like kick
Brother,
to the
you
curb.
gave me not you gave me nine. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, and I just kind of just threw away my list of like I just looked at 10 through like 25 and I just kind of ripped that paper up and I just threw it in the trash. I was like, all right, I don't need this. I don't need you anymore.
It's like, hopefully no feelings were hurt.
Nah, 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 nah. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh my goodness. So, that let's get a little bit back to the topic, to like before we get into like the synopsis of uh the anime. Why don't you give us a little bit on like your first exposure to the Devil May Cry series? I think you did a little bit because you said that like you've played you talked a little bit about playing the first game.
hmm
Um, yeah.
Um. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go on.
Yeah, no, my first introduction into Devil May Cry was literally the video games.
Mhm.
I played the demo disc that was in Resident Evil Code Veronica. Shout out to Blockbuster. Um, I played the game and I fell in love with the game. And when the game came out, I bought it for my PlayStation because I was old enough to buy my own shit at that time.
Oh my
Um,
goodness, that must have been a powerful feeling.
yeah. I That's how I got into the series, and it took me a while to beat one, but I eventually beat one down the line.
Mhm.
Um, and that's how I got into it. And then I got when the anime dropped, and then like years later, when the anime dropped, and of course they gave you the first four episodes on DVD
Mhm.
to watch, because originally you only could have gotten this on DVD. It wasn't streaming anywhere. It wasn't like playing anywhere. You only could like order them via DVD and stuff.
Okay, so
So,
it like you said, it was they would only release it like via DVD, because
hmm
I remember as I'm watching this on Crunchyroll, like during like the end credits, they're like talking about, it's like you can definitely see like how they dated themselves. It's like, catch us on the next DVD. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's that
yeah, they
old.
did. Yeah, because it was only available on DVD, and that was because that was what they played after the fourth episode. Like that was the closer when they said the fourth episode. That's what they got. They said, yeah, catch us on the next DVD, because DVDs were only releasing four episodes at a time, and there's a 12 episode series. I do not have the collection of Devil May Cry DVD, and there's a reason for that. But we can get into that later.
Yes.
Um,
So,
but go ahead.
no. So like we can give a little bit of a synopsis of the show, and essentially I'm looking at the synopsis that they gave us on my anime list, and
Hmm.
it's I find it kind of lacking because it's true, but it isn't. Essentially, with the anime series, we follow Dante from the show Devil May Cry, where he is working as a quote unquote odd jobs guy, where he takes on different jobs such as like a private investigator or looking into different situations where essentially they turn out to be demon related. And
Hmm.
in one of the jobs, he comes across this little girl known as Patty Lowell, and he finishes up the job with her, and she essentially tags along. Well, I say essentially tags along. She more or less makes cameos all throughout the rest of the series because she has nowhere else to go. And I guess like from what the synopsis is trying to say is like it seems like we're seeing things from her perspective, but that's not necessarily the case. We're still just essentially seeing what Dante does from on the day-to-day basis with his work, whether it's trying to make ends meet or finishing a job, things like that. And the anime was made by Studio Madhouse, which is known for Death Note, One Punch Man, Hunter x Hunter, and High School of the Dead. And as Shaggy mentioned earlier, the original source of this anime is a video game. Genres are action and fantasy, themes are gore and mythology. Its rating is an R for violence and profanity, and it's available on Crunchyroll and Netflix. And for the newer series that's supposed to be coming out in 2025, it's supposed to be done by Studio Mir, which are the same people known for Voltron, Korra. Well, the Netflix Voltron, so the more recent Voltron. The Legend of Korra, X-Men 97, which is something that I did not know. It was like that that sequel X-Men series that Disney Plus had put out there. And the animated Witcher movie, which is The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf. So that was a little bit of the synopsis. And uh, Shaggy, like, being a big Devil May Cry fan, in your opinion, what about the Devil May Cry franchise makes it so iconic?
Dante.
Why is that?
Dante for one. Dante for one because it's been a while since we've had like
Mhm.
a 90s action character in a 2000 type game. Like that dude, Dante is a character that like fits if he was in an 80s action movie.
Yeah, yeah, like Schwarzenegger or
Yeah,
Stallone. Yeah,
Van
yeah.
Damme.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, he would fit. That character would have been somebody we would have seen in like an 80s, 90s act. He would have been an 80s, 90s action star.
Mhm.
Um, and with him being like the half demon and half human, that brought the little gothic things in that. And also, I'm gonna just keep it a bean. I was kind of an emo kid at that point in my life. So like I was all into like the gothic type shit and like all the horror and stuff like that. But like at the same time, Dante just spoke to me. And then the game itself had like the gothic type feel. It almost felt like, especially if you're like a Castlevania fan, but you grew up on like the vampires or and like the shit like that, or like the gothic type nature of like Dracula and shit like that. Devil May Cry had all of that, but it was like coded into like something new and hip and fresh and all that bullshit, all that bull that you would have heard in like 90s marketing. Um, but it was Dante is the focal point because people can know who Dante and Virgil are, not knowing where they come from.
Mm. Okay.
And Virgil's not even in this. Go ahead.
Oh no no. So, okay, like that's how influential that they are. Like you like a person can recognize who Dante recognize Dante and Virgil, not know who they are, but it's like okay, I know like that person means something to
Yeah,
somebody.
correct.
Okay, and like as you said, with Dante being as, and I guess you could say like he, uh, because you compared him to Stallone and Van Damme, and you could say like with them, like they're very charismatic in their action sequences. So, because one thing
Mhm.
I was going to ask too was, do you think that this would be something that's good to translate from the video game to an animated series? Because not everything from video games can translate very well onto the silver screen.
Yeah, no. It's oh boy. Where do I begin? I mean, I know like it's crazy because you're setting me up to do not in a bad way. You're setting me up, but I know we still got a lot of the show to go on, and I'm like, I want to talk about it, but like sometimes, but I get that. So it's like we still got a bunch of show to go on. So what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do is this anime did everything to make Dante more of a likable character. And it's like Dante was already a likable character. I will say the one thing this anime got correct was the Dante was Dante himself, Lady and Trish and how he talks to them.
Okay, their
Like if
interactions
I
or his interactions with
their
them.
interactions, yeah, here's interactions with them and him as a character. They nailed that on the head.
Okay, so that's good, because sometimes like having good character interactions can make or can show that you at least know the property or the characters that you are trying to portray. Because we've
Hmm.
done some other animes in the past. Something that comes to my mind is like some of the Marvel anime adaptations, where it's like I'm looking at it and
Mm.
I'm like, they didn't know anything about this character. Why are they doing all this? So at least like getting those character interactions
Yeah.
are pretty good. Um, so I would say, I guess like to uh, unpull that pen earlier that I had mentioned, because you mentioned with Devil May Cry 4 and the anime being released in tandem, being able to get the DVD as well. I was going to ask you, like, if you feel like or like, do you think that the anime was it a cash grab, or was it a tool used to promote the Devil May Cry 4 game? Because like it did,
Um.
yeah.
No. Go ahead.
No, it's just because I didn't even know that you can get the 4 anime episodes by buying the pre-release of Devil May Cry 4, just by looking at the dates where they were released on my end. Like, I was under the impression that they had released the anime in order to hype up the game, because they made it seem like the game was released a year later.
Okay. So when it came to this, you can't say it was a. It can't say it was like a. I can't say it wasn't a cash grab
Okay.
because Devil May Cry around that time was hot. It was the hottest thing in the
Yeah.
streets because where Devil May Cry 2 had failed, Devil May Cry 3 in 2005 was one of the best selling games on the PlayStation 2. And even though it was hard, people were still like, this is the one of the best games on that system. Um, so that popularity was growing. So then a couple of years after that, um, they were creating the anime.
Mm-hmm.
But they had Devil May Cry 4 dropping.
Okay.
And you could get the first 4 episodes if you pre-ordered the deluxe edition. I
Yeah.
still think I have my case around here somewhere. And if I find it, I'll send it to you. Um, a picture anyway.
I was gonna say, it was like that's very generous
Well,
of you, Shaggy.
is that ginger? Yeah, motherfucker. I bet. Um, no, it's you. We had so it's like they put it in there as kind of like, hey, don't forget this. Don't forget this anime is coming out. So we're gonna put it in with in the special edition of the fourth game because they're you had to get eyes on your show because Toonami wasn't gonna pick no stuff up like this. Like at that time, the only way you could have gotten anime in America was either like on DVD or you're watching Toonami.
Yeah.
There was no like Crunchyroll, like Crunchyroll didn't pop off like that. There was no streaming like that. There were now you can go to some illegal sites
Mm-hmm.
to watch those animes when they dropped, but
I'm
there was
just
no way
trying
to
to.
do this. So they wanted to
No,
go ahead.
I was just thinking because this is the time of the DVD. So I would think,
Mhm.
like, do you think that it would have been available to be rent via Netflix at this time, or that would have been too much of an ask at that time?
Um, you probably could have gotten it.
Hmm.
Like you probably couldn't have. You probably could have gotten it. Um, to be honest with you, to get it through, like to get it through Netflix and everything like that.
Hmm.
But like again, anime was scarce, man.
Oh yeah,
Like you
no.
either had to get it on, you had to get it on DVD, or you had to go through other means to get it.
Oh my goodness, LimeWire, FrostWire.
Yes, sir.
Trying to get the hit as best as you can.
Yeah, just trying to get everything you can. It's like I'm gonna ruin my computer to watch these episodes. Um, but yeah, nah, it's they definitely. So yeah, the anime came out in '07,
Mhm.
but the game came out in '08. So again, they were like, "Hey, here's the first four episodes, and here's the first four episodes, so you can get it." And like people, I feel as though when people watch this, they wait. Only the Devil May Cry fans were probably hunting this anime down.
Oh,
Um,
like the real ones.
but to say it like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was just thinking, like, now that you think about it, it's like, does the Devil May Cry fandom have like a nickname, like how Star Trek you have Trekkers or Trekkies, Doctor Who fandoms you have Whovians, or is it just
Um,
Devil May Cry people?
nah, it's just Devil May Cry, folks.
Oh,
You either,
okay.
but it's either you pick a side. You're either, but to be honest with you, you're either picking a side between Team Dante or Team Virgil.
Oh, okay. So like it's that decide. Okay. Because like you said, like they were very iconic. I'm sorry, for some reason, the image in my head. Have you ever seen Gravity Falls?
Yes.
So you hold on, was it Gravity Falls? No, it wasn't Gravity Falls. My apologies.
You good?
It was a series. It's called Amphibia. Um, have you heard of it or no?
Yeah, I've heard of Amphibia. I've never watched it because I didn't
It's
have Disney at the time.
mhm.
But I've heard of Amphibia. Kind of same kind of draw art style as Gravity Falls and everything.
Yeah. That's why Gravity Falls came out my mouth first, because like the art style is similar. But there was an episode there where essentially this girl gets isekai to a world with anthropomorphic amphibians, and she shows them her equivalent of Twilight, and the whole town splits into like their quote unquote Edward and their quote unquote werewolf people. But
Mhm.
that's the thing that came into my head, where it's just like how Devil May Cry is just like split between like Dante and Virgil is like Team Dante, Team Virgil, and except like they're not sparkly.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm a bit interested. Which no, you said that you're leaning towards the camp of Team Dante. Why is that?
Dante was my dude, man. I also the color red is probably my favorite. So like Dante, I got no disrespect on Virgil because he's
Yeah.
super damn cool. But like, um, Dante was the first dude, man. And then if you played the games, Virgil was spoiler alert. Virgil was Nero Angelo in the Devil May Cry 1 game, and that's you don't realize that until later. when he removes his helmet, and that's your brother, that's your twin brother. He just got condemned to
Oh.
hell. Um, and then like it's just like you Dante I've met first, but then like I will say this though,
Mhm.
if Devil May Cry 3 was the first game in the series, I think I would have gone with Virgil more because of the fact that I was like an edge lord. Right? I, I was an edge lord, and I would have been like I would have worshipped the ground Virgil walked on at that time.
Okay, so uh, I guess it's a little late for full disclosure, but full disclosure, I please don't beat me up. I have not played a Devil May Cry game. I'm very familiar with it. I've seen one of my friends play four, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm vaguely familiar with the lore. The most, oh, please don't hate me, because I know how the how the fandom feels about this. Because like the one Devil May Cry game that I was able to play was the DMC reboot, and
Okay.
okay, all right. I'm glad that I got that because it seems like the fan base is just vehemently against it, and
Okay. Nah. I'm
yeah,
gonna say this right now. I ain't
mhm,
mean to cut you off.
yeah.
The DMC reboot. That game is if that game didn't have Dante in it whatsoever, that would have been a good ass game. But the fact that it was labeled as Devil May Cry
Mhm.
and it pissed a lot of people off because the dude who made it didn't make that for he made it, but he wanted to make it piss off the fans.
Really? Okay, because
Yeah,
I saw like there was a scene where he has like the mop on his head and like he looks in the mirror
hmm
and he's like, "Oh no, not in a million years," right? And
Yep.
I was told that like a lot of fans were pissed off by that, but
Yeah, and he
yeah.
did that, and he did that on purpose. And then we eventually, if you played that game and you
Mhm.
beat it, eventually Dante did get his white hair. So like it didn't matter in the end. But that game wasn't a bad game. It had its like flaws because of the camera and
Mhm.
everything, but then they re-released it. That game was still a really good game.
So
It's a really good game, but I understand as a Devil May Cry fan, you're kind of spitting at me. You're
so
spitting on the cathedral that I love.
so why? I guess what did the fandom do to make the creator essentially just like spit on the demigod that is Devil May Cry for you guys?
All it really was, man, is like he had his own vision.
Hmm.
Like he brought that vision out at E3 some years ago. I forget what year it was, but he brought it out in E3, and fans were like, "Yo, this is not my Devil May Cry," blah blah blah, and he took that to heart, and he was like,
He just leaned into it
"Well,
even harder.
he just leaned into it. Was like, well, all right, whatever." And he said like there are literal interviews on how he approached how he was making this game, and he was literally you could just take those interviews like I'm going to make those fans mad, but I'm going to make a good game, but I'm going to piss those fans off.
I would say because the one thing that I really did like about the game was the combat system, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not nothing new because all of the combat systems for most of the Devil May Cry games, it seems like that it's a standard, where it's like it has to be nice and tight. It has to be really good. I
Mm-hmm.
would say because it was the first time that I've played a game where you could cycle through different weapons and it felt so seamless. It wasn't very clunky, right? You can go from these oversized boxing fists to this rapier, not necessarily rapier, but like this broadsword, right? And you're not losing any momentum or any speed, that sort of thing. Like you can counter and it doesn't, like it was very very nice and very very smooth. I really appreciated that. um I would say too, I guess, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it seemed like with the DMC reboot, aside from maybe four, that
Mm-hmm.
the story was a little bit tighter. Like it had had more of a tighter storyline, or a storyline that you can get more invested in, because it seemed like some of the other games were more or less um, where the story wasn't necessarily at the forefront, because it's about being stylish, it's about being cool, it's about, beating the next boss and like going on to the next room. Whereas like in
Mm-hmm.
4, you're working to save Kyrie, I think is her name.
Yeah,
Uh,
Kyrie. Yep.
yeah, so you're working to save Kyrie, and then the DMC reboot, you're trying to uncover this big plot by big company or anything else like that. Like it had like that very like grungy, against the world sort of feeling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That sort of thing. Am I correct in saying that, or am I off base?
So no.
Yeah.
You're spot on, but that
Mhm.
also shows that you didn't like. That also proves to me what you said earlier, that you didn't play any of the other Devil May Cries,
Yeah.
because one literally was just a modern take.
Mhm.
That DMC that you played was literally a modern take on part one.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
in the first Devil May Cry, you're also unfolding like this big conspiracy, uh, too, or
Well,
something similar.
kind of,
Okay.
but like you were going. Let me just. I'll cut it down like this. You were
All right.
going after Mundus,
Yeah.
like like a female character comes to you for help.
Mhm.
You head out to find where Mundus is, and you find Mundus, and then you eventually fight your brother. The difference is
Mhm.
in those in the first in that game, and in the remake you played in part
Mhm.
one. I take that back. I did say it was retelling of part one. It's a combination of part three
Okay.
and one, because one is like Mundus is still the guy that you're going after, which is like Devil May Cry one.
Yeah.
Um, However, part three, you and Virgil are still like both humanoids, and in Devil and in DMC, Virgil finds you and he gets you to kind of do his bidding. Um, in the third game, you're kind of Virgil's bidding, but y'all are fighting way more. You don't fight Virgil in DMC until the end of the game.
Mhm.
Um, in part three of Devil May Cry, you're fighting him three times in the game. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
Like you meet him for the first time, y'all have an epic battle. You meet him for the second time, there's an epic battle, and then you meet him for the fourth time, like your third time, and it's like the end of the game.
Mhm.
And then in part one, you're fighting Virgil again, but that's when he's known as Nero Angelo. So like the
So
premise is
yeah.
still the same. What I'm saying is DMC one is literally just a retread of one and three. Or not DMC one. I'm apologizing.
Yeah.
DMC that you
Yeah.
played
Yeah. The reboot. Yeah.
is a retread is a retread of one and three.
Okay. So then, all right. Yeah. It was able to pick pieces of both and mash them together a little bit to make them work. And the
Yeah.
reason why I bring this up is because in the anime that we watched, it was very episodic, and I guess like again, as you said, because I didn't play any of the other games, it just reinforced that idea that it just seems as though that the games are more or less episodic, like the missions, yeah, they kind of do lead from one to another, but it's again, it's like no real strong story, and like with the anime, it's just very episodic in that regard. And sometimes like that can be good for some people that want to watch it, but I guess from a seasoned Devil May Cry fan, do you feel as though that's a good way to tell a Devil May Cry story, is to do it episodically or to have one strong story throughout the series?
We're getting very close to being very critical of this, and
Yeah.
I'm just every time you're talking, every time you ask me a question, we go back to the anime. It's like you're loosening the top of my soda, like it's like you're loosening the top of my bottle cap. You're twisting it to open it, and you don't
Just
know that
letting a
it's been.
little bit of pressure out.
Yes, every time
Yeah.
like you shook it, but then you're kind of slowly open it to see what happens. Um,
I'm sorry. I don't. I
I
don't.
will
I don't. I
spin
don't. I
this.
don't. I don't mean to play with your feelings. I guess like what I'm trying to say
You're
is like
good.
we can now get into like well, before we get into the spoiler territory, right? I guess like just
Mhm.
a brief like overview like from a Devil May Cry fan, right? Like
Mhm.
is like you said like earlier in the beginning, like it seems like this is something that a seasoned Devil May Cry fan. It seemed like this is the only fans would be the ones to seek this out, and just like
Mhm.
looking back at this, like is this something that's only for fans to enjoy, or is this something that
Oh,
somebody who hasn't seen the series can hop in and sort of dip their toe into the Devil May Cry franchise?
I'm gonna be as honest as I can be.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why I am thankful the Devil May Cry is getting a new anime.
Okay.
Like plain and simple. When I heard we were getting a new anime from Netflix from the same people who were working on Castlevania, I was hyped
Yeah.
because I went back and watched this, and my goodness,
And you're like, it needed to
like
happen. This
I
needed to
was
be
like,
done.
thank Christ. When I search Devil May Cry anime, the first thing will pop up is the Netflix series, and not the animated series, which
That's
was released.
that's hilarious because like that's exactly what you said. Like as I was doing some preparation for this, the first thing that pops up is the Netflix series that's supposed to come out, and it hasn't come out yet. So I guess like they're doing the Lord's work and making sure
Yes,
that people forget about
yes.
this anime. So
My goodness. To answer your original question, this is only something fans would like, and even then, that's
yes.
a stretch.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. So, if you're a fan, maybe if you want to be a completionist, go ahead. But if you're a newbie, like know what you're getting into, realize like where it stands in the community, and you have no one to blame but yourself. That sort of thing.
Hmm. It's one of those things where,
Yeah.
hey, man, you went and go did. You could have found better time, but all right, like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, yeah, enjoy it. I'm not gonna knock you. Oh, okay, cool, right.
All right, man. So with the non-spoilerly stuff out the way, we can get into the spoilers. And as you had mentioned before, it seems like I was just like rattling your cage. Was there any thread line that you wanted to tackle first?
My God, this did not age well. And when I say that, you
Yes.
typically think of like anime that is like brother, you cannot do this anymore, type thing. But like
Hmm.
this anime just wasn't.
It
I'm gonna
wasn't
come
the
out the
move,
gate. It sounds no. I'm gonna come out in gates and say that this anime wasn't bad. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've seen.
but it's not
However, I could have. Yeah, there could have been other. I could have found something better else to do with my time because there's a lot of things I did like in this. There's some things I liked in this, but there's a lot of things I was like,
good. Okay,
why are we doing this?
so highlight on the things you liked. So you mentioned that you liked
Yeah.
the interactions between Lady, Trish, and Dante. Was there
Mhm.
anything else that jumped out to you that you liked about this?
Um, the music for one. That theme song was in
Okay.
my head for like years.
Oh my god, it's
Um,
such an earworm, dude. Like it was in my head the
yeah,
whole week.
like as soon as you asked me to be on this, that was like the theme song played in my head before I said it. I was like, okay, all right,
Hmm.
I'm in. I love that theme song. I didn't. It got to the point though that I was skipping the theme song because I was trying to hurry up and get through it. I was also
Hmm.
at work when I was watching this, so I
Ah,
was
yeah,
like, let me
yeah,
just
yeah.
cut. I said, let me just kind of skip through this and kind of just get where I need to get. Um, but I love the theme song. Dante's character design
Hmm.
wasn't bad, and I do like the voice acting in that. Um, I
So
did like the voice acting and everything in that. So it wasn't like those are like the things that I liked. Um,
Now that you mentioned Dante's character design, was I guess like because the way that the anime had portrayed in um maybe I'm jumping the gun by asking this question,
you're good.
but was this supposed to take place before one or in between one and two?
Yeah, in between one and two.
Okay.
So the chronological order
Yeah.
of the games is three, one, because three is a prequel.
Okay, I didn't know that three was a prequel. Okay, so three,
Three,
one.
one, four.
Oh my goodness, this is like Fast
Uh,
and Furious timeline stuff.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so before five had dropped, the chronological order was three, one, four, two. Two was so bad that they pushed that shit down the timeline.
Oh my goodness. So what was okay? So you mentioned before that two was bad. So
Yeah.
which was worse, the anime or two, and why?
Oh boy. So the anime is passed. So both here's the thing. Both you're serving
the
me both
game, the
plates of
game isn't considered passable.
brother, you're giving me two plates of mid.
Oh,
And it's what do I want to
okay.
it's like what plate of mid do I want to eat first?
Okay, okay. All right.
Like it's like what plate of mid do I want to eat first? Um unlike Devil May Cry, unlike Devil May Cry 2,
Mm-hmm.
the animated series didn't have anything after this. It was one and done. So
Yeah.
that shows what I'm telling you right there. The Devil May Cry 2, however, they made three other damn games in that story to be like, we need to get the fuck far away from this as possible. So like,
Oh my goodness. So, like, what was so bad about two? Like, what was
it
it
was
just?
too easy.
Oh, really? It being
Yeah,
too easy.
it
Okay, so
dog.
that's
No,
also.
it's
I'm sorry. Go on.
no. You have to hear. No, no, no. You have to hear me out.
Okay.
You know how in DMC you made a combination of using all your to beat a certain boss
Yeah.
or to get to a certain place like that.
Hmm.
Devil May Cry 2, 90% of that game can be solved by using the guns only.
What? Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. I mean, I guess like that kind of makes sense because now that you mention it, I remember like it seems like it's one thing in the community where it's like at least like upping like the difficulty and trying to I don't think the Devil May Cry games are usually used for speed runs, but it seems like that's one of the replayability aspects for the games is being able to beat the bosses as difficult as you can make it and getting like the highest stylish points that you can get too.
Yeah, no, because this game was always about like another reason why I love this game so much is because it was almost like a fighting game in a sense,
Yeah.
to where because you wanted to get like you wanted to pull off combos with your weapons and everything else.
Hmm.
You didn't need to do that in two. You literally could just go through your games using the guns only.
Okay. Yeah, that is kind of weak sauce. I could see like
Yeah.
where it's like say something like this might be an exaggeration, but like say like a Demon Souls game where it's like they're known for being hard, where you have
Hmm.
to sit and grind, and then they put out one game that people who play like Mario Brothers can get in and solo it without having to really be strategic about like their weapons or their
Yeah.
combos.
Yeah, this is the one if you want to look at speed runs, probably a thing for this. People have speed run Devil May Cry before, but like
Hmm.
two is probably notorious for like how quick you can beat the game without doing anything. Um, Going back real
Yeah,
quick,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, the chronological order of the series, now that five was created, that Devil May Cry 5 came out, the chronological order is three, one, two, four, five.
Three, one, two, four, five. Okay, yeah, because it seemed like five was like right after four. Some not necessarily right after, but like sometime after four.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
way they made five, they had they retconned part two, so they put it in the actual order that like it's three, one, two, four, five. With the
Okay.
anime taking place between games one and two.
Okay. And as I said, like it just seemed that way because, well, again, from somebody who hadn't played the games, like it seemed like Trish's and Lady's first meeting,
Hmm.
and I felt like that could have been handled so much better.
Yeah.
And like I'm watching this and I'm like, this it's like this could have been better. It's like I felt like they probably did do this better in the games, but this is all that I can go
So
off right now.
yeah, nah. To be fair, Trish and
Yeah.
Lady haven't met until that anime. Lady was in part three, which is the first game of the series,
Okay.
technically in chronological order.
Yeah.
You met Trish in part one. That's the chick that comes to your place, just like how you
Okay.
play DNC, and the
Yeah.
girl comes up and says, "Dante, I need your help." She's the one that comes to need your help.
Okay.
Um, so and then the animated series, that's when they meet for the first time,
Okay.
and that's when they kind of like that's when they both agreed that Dante is a broke piece of shit, but he's charming.
Well, to be fair, like I read up on this. Like apparently, like the money that he gets from his jobs are really good, are really big. But like he gives a lot of the money to uh, repair what was essentially damaged through the fights, or to some of the victims that were subject to the fallout of the fights. Is that
Yeah,
true?
though he pays. Yeah, he pays for collateral damage.
Yeah.
There are three people he pays. He pays the cities for collateral damage.
Hmm.
Um, he pays Harrison, and he pays Lady.
Okay, so all right, because that was I'm glad you said Harrison because I was confused because I saw a clip of Devil May Cry 5 and it seemed like
Mm-hmm.
his handler was there, but he was black, and I think his name
Yes,
was Morrison, and
Morrison.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, and I was watching the anime and like his handler was there, but he was white, and I thought that like they had the same name. I'm like, is this guy a regular dude or is he a shapeshifter? Like what's going on? So like okay, so it's two different handlers that Dante has had.
No,
Okay.
I messed up. I said Harrison. It's
Yeah.
Morrison. It's the same dude.
It's the same dude. So then
Yeah.
why the race change?
Um, I honestly,
Not
I
important?
thought there was some lore. No, it's not. It's not
Okay.
really super important, but it is jarring
Yeah.
if you watch the animated series and then you watch and then you go and play Devil May Cry 5.
Hmm.
Because it's like, well, what the hell? I want to say, I think it was a redesign.
Oh, okay.
Um, I want to say it's a redesign, and they kind of just changed them, and that's canon now. That
But the redesign's
more like
canon?
yeah, the redesign's canon.
Okay,
So
okay.
Morrison's black now. Um, I don't know to high key. I can't tell you why they did it, but I mean it's a welcome change. But it's one of those things that's kind of like in a world where we all kind of look for inclusivity and everything else, like
Yeah.
something like, hey, okay, it's kind of like one of those like meh changes.
True. True, true.
It's one of those like, okay, it's a third part character that no one's gonna know about unless you watch the anime.
So, I guess like has Morrison showed up in any of the games or this was the first
Since
time
just
then?
part five, just yeah, part five in the anime are the only two things that part. Actually, I take that back.
Mhm.
The game himself. To answer your question, he's been in part five.
Okay.
That's the only time he's been in the games.
It's hard to talk about this anime without having to like lean super heavy into the games, but it's just so interconnected. Um, I'm trying to think because you had mentioned earlier about some hallmarks that make up Devil May Cry being uh, Dante and Virgil, and like for me, one of the things that's like tantamount to the character is the devil trigger. And you had mentioned before that Virgil was not in this anime, and we didn't get any devil trigger transformations either in this
Nope.
anime as well. So I guess, is this really a Devil May Cry franchise without having those two things?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
so funny since we might get a little ahead of ourselves, but
yeah.
the last episode, you did get two demon looking guys, uh, brothers, to turn and do their devil triggers,
Dude,
pretty much.
it's like it's in our faces, dog. It's just like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna have these no names who claim to be like, his dad's apprentices, and
Hmm.
not have Dante transform? And then even, oh my goodness, one scene that pissed me off so bad. It was it was in the end when I guess he was in hell, or that reality marble, and he was
Hmm.
pinned to the cross, bro.
Yeah,
And like
that would
little
have been the time.
that that the little girl came and helped him. I guess like he wanted her to make her feel like she's done something, but like in any game, like you said, like it happens to him all the time. I've seen him get stabbed in his own sword in and Devil May Cry 4, like the same game that was coming out at the same time. He was stabbed with his own sword. He walked it off. He just like took it out. It's like it was a splinter. It's like, oh, I got this like giant 8 foot steel within my sternum. Let me just take this out real quick, and I'll get back to you. And whereas in the game, he's, oh, not in the game, but in the anime, he's like, oh no, thank you, little girl, for saving me. I really need you to help pull that sword out of my chest. Where it's just like, why? It's just, uh, I guess like
Bruh, we didn't get so
yeah,
yes, this show was lacking. Fuck it, because I'm gonna come
yeah,
out and just say it
yeah.
now. Because I know you're probably formulaic, but I got it's
Yeah,
been
go ahead,
not
go ahead,
the we have opened the soda
go
and I
ahead.
am ready to just explode.
Just go.
They done Dante correctly outside
Hmm.
of him never going in using his devil trigger at all. The character of Dante, absolutely, I felt like he was like 92%
Hmm.
full. And but he didn't do double trigger. He wasn't perfect. Um he was still cutting his one-liners. He was still kind of like his edgy, he still kind of had a little edge to him. But this is where we started getting more information on Dante, adding to the lore that he loves pizza, even though we had part 3 to tell us this,
Yeah.
and strawberry sundaes.
So that was one thing I was going to ask you. Is like, so like, was that an anime only thing, or he didn't have strawberry sundaes in the video games?
So I think if you look, you find out
Hmm.
that he likes strawberry sundaes in it. Like you find out more about Dante's character in part 3,
Hmm.
um, where he's more like of a Spider-Man type one liner type deliverer.
Yeah.
Um, but you find out like, and then you find out what he actually likes. Like you find out he loves pizza, a one
Hmm.
thousand percent, and like the strawberry sundaes were mentioned. You never seen him eat one until like the anime, and now that's who he is. That's I. It's who it's canon. It's lore.
Oh my goodness, it's so funny because like you said, it's just like if he doesn't have like a box of pizza in his hand, he has like a strawberry sundae where he's talking about wanting to get a strawberry sundae. They just drove that point home. It's like, okay, it's nice. But, like they even have like that episode with him and the strawberry sundae. I think it was like the ice cream parlor, right?
Yeah, it's an ice
Yeah,
cream parlor. Well, it was a little diner.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I guess is that a positive that the anime gave us as far as lore?
Hmm. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like there that all that stuff takes, like I said, all that stuff in the anime takes part in from games 1 to 2, and then whatever came out in the manga. So they were building the Dante lore at that point,
Yeah.
or building off of the Dante lore at that point, and then we still had part 3 before the anime came out. So
Okay.
they just took that, and they're definitely building that. So it was kind of like one of those things like, hey man, my strawberry sundae eating king.
Yes. Now I'm curious, right? Like if since Dante is like super into sugar, if like Virgil is just like the complete opposite, if he just like has what would be a very bitter food? Um
Like I'm thinking, first thing that came up to my mind is like a lemon tart or like coffee straight up.
yeah, just black coffee. Or
Yeah, like restaurant quality black coffee, not the good shit.
oh my goodness. Oh, from Shoney's or something else like that. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like oh no. Waffle House. Waffle
Yeah.
House like
Well, oh,
coffee.
hey, whoa.
What?
Let's not diss Waffle House in here. Let's go. Let's something like Denny's.
Denny's. Okay, yeah, that's fair. We don't want we don't want Waho knocking on our doors, throwing chairs at
Mm-hmm.
us and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. But I would say just going back to the anime, like I feel like with the little girl, they went a little bit too stereotypical with her. Like I don't.
She's canon now.
No, she's not.
She's canon. Yep, she's canon.
Okay.
She's canon. I Here's the thing about the
Yeah.
girl.
Hmm.
I didn't care for her, but when I watched this originally, I was like, "Who the hell is this?" But I you got to give Dante something to do. But that's where another one of my gripes comes in with this being
Hmm.
episodic. You had a villain of the week. You had a villain of the week type beat instead of building up an actual story.
Hmm.
You had a story there with the girl and her mom missing, but you literally don't cover that until the last 2 episodes of the actual show.
Yeah, and it was because this leads into like a question that I was gonna
Or last
ask
three
you.
episodes.
Yeah, like last 3 episodes. Um,
Mm.
what was that little imp's name? It was
Dude,
something forgettable, but
dude, exactly. It's forgettable. Like
uh,
that's all you need.
Mr. Forgettable. That's what we'll call him. Because I was gonna ask you because being a villain aficionado, like
Mm.
where would he? How would you rank him? And I know like it's very poor, but like for some of our listeners who may not know like how you would normally like describe villains or anything else like that. If you can give us a brief snippet or brief sneak peeks, like what do you think or how would you um I guess like how would you rate this villain and his shenanigans, or is it just
Oh,
too mid not to even mention?
brother, that's how, if you listen, like that's how for the new listeners, if you ever tap into my show, we cover any and all villains, no matter how good, bad, or super mid they are. Um, I'm gonna give you a little expert here or excerpt here. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, we here at the Cinema Villains typically love to review our movies and everything, but what we rate and review the villain of said movie, and we judge them by 3 categories. Those categories are the motive, the drip, and the threat level.
Okay.
So for Sid, because I went out and looked up his name.
Oh, okay. Actual factual. No longer Mr. Forgettable. It's Sid.
No, I went up and looked up his name. Sid,
Hmm.
the impish type demon that is in this Devil May Cry. What do I rate him? 1 out of 5. One being get the hell out of here, and 5 being goaded. Um, for his motivation, funny enough, he occurs through this motivation. He occurs has a but I don't care. It's a 2. He literally is when you meet him in episode 3, he's around and Dante just doesn't kill him. He lets him go. It's either episode 2 or 3. No, I think it's 1. It's 1.
He's around early on, and I thought that like when he was first introduced, I thought they were going to do something interesting with him because like their relationship, they made it seem like Dante disliked him, but Dante saw some use in him. So I didn't know if he was going to
He
be
was
like
he was kind of he was kind of an informant.
yeah, I didn't know if he was going to be like an information broker or something like that, right? And that sort
Yeah.
of character can be done very, very well, but it just
Yeah.
fell flat with him.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just because you're not when you come in to watch this Devil May Cry, you're not here for dudes like him. You're
Mm-hmm.
kind of here for Dante. You're here for Trish. You're here for Lady. You're here for the actual Devil May Cry building. You're kind of seeing what's in Dante's day to day. You're
Yeah.
trying to see if you're gonna get Virgil. You're gonna kind of see if he like where does this takes place. It's yet you're not here for those characters. And if you're gonna make a character like that, make them somewhat like you don't have to make him
Impressionable.
likable, but yeah, make him something because this motherfucker was no better than a fart, bruh. Like he was here, but his
Yes.
motivation, his motivation gets. I would have given him a 3, but I just
Mm-hmm.
don't care enough to give him that high.
Yeah.
He literally was trying to make himself better in the demon world by putting Dante in situations to where he would end up getting killed, and he would take the credit for that.
That, that's weird because that doesn't even work. I mean, like with, and we saw this in I guess like episode 2. Oh no, not 2, but
Mhm.
in the second to last episode or the one with the brothers that you had mentioned, right?
Yeah,
Like he killed them and he's like, okay, so he wanted Dante to take these jobs because he wanted something from those demons. Like he couldn't actually kill those demons. He needed something from their bodies. Like, okay, that's kind of interesting, right?
he's
But
doing it for social status.
it was just for the clout. He was a clout chaser.
Yeah. Yeah, he was trying to get his social status
Uh,
better in the demon realm. That's what that was. That's why I respect the hustle, but I don't care. It's a 2. The
okay.
drip is a 1. I want to give him lower than a 1. I want to give him a 0. I want to give him a negative, and that doesn't exist. He's dirty, he's filthy, he look like he stank. Nah, bro. Just a 1.
He's at least
Um
got clothes. That gives him one.
Shit, man, you could have designed him better
Yeah.
and not given him clothes and just made him an outright demon, but you didn't do that. I'm like wash his ass in a millennia. So no, 1. Um, threat level is also a 1 because like I'd beat your ass. Now, granted, I
Yeah.
can give him a 1.5 because he was smart enough to put Dante in those situations that Dante shouldn't be in. But Dante also being a broke boy, he had to do these jobs.
He had to take any job that he could get. Like
Yes,
he
so
couldn't just say no.
no, he had to take these jobs. So but I'm gonna still give him a 1 because I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
That gives him an aggregate of like 1.5, if that.
Oof. Yeah, no. That's definitely fair. It's just okay. So then, with some of the other villains in the Devil May Cry series, so that was so in the anime, that was one. So what would be an example of a good Devil May Cry villain that we should have expected in this anime?
Ooh, shit. You had so if this was taking place between 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
there's a guy that we're gonna see in the actual anime here who is a rabbit.
Okay.
He
Are
I'm
we talking about like Alice in Wonderland, or it's just like a guy with a rabbit
kind
costume?
of no, he's an actual factual demonic rabbit.
Okay.
Um, he is that is just gonna be the actual trying to think. Uh, give me one second. I'm getting his name because he
Yeah.
he came up in the anime.
Oh, like he was name dropped.
Yeah, he was in. So he was in the anime. Um, and that's but it not. I'm sorry, I'm saying anime. He was in the manga,
Okay. He was
and
in the
that's how
manga.
you
Yeah.
found out about. That's how you found out about the White Rabbit.
Mhm.
Uh, he was in the prequel manga for Devil May Cry 3. Um, and he finally shows up in the actual anime that's coming out on Netflix. You could have put him in
Oh.
that. You could have put him in the animated series. You could have put him in the animated series, and he could have worked out.
Okay.
Um, and he shows up in the like that would have been one. Shit, you could have put Virgil. You could have had Nero Angelo
Yeah.
in there because Virgil technically didn't. We saw Virgil didn't die.
Mhm.
Um, so you could have had Virgil. You could have had you could have made up other characters that would have felt differently, but you definitely could have had um you definitely could have had those guys. Shit, man, you could have even took the characters from part two and build them up to be something worth it, but they didn't. They just made it more episodic, like a day-to-day villain type beat. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, okay, like there's nothing interesting. There's nothing interesting. The only episode I've ever found interesting was I want to say part four, where they did the love, where the demon man was in love with the woman.
Yes. The singer, right? No.
Yeah, no, not the singer.
The one that healed people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
That one,
healing
yeah,
demon.
that one
I
was
I
actually
I can't. I
decent.
liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that was
liked it.
actually a good episode.
I liked it. So but like that's like the only episode that I actually remembered. Uh, Before even going back and watching this, I was like, I wonder what this episode comes on. So like, yeah. So that one was worth it. But like other than that, you had villains that you could have gone with, but you didn't. They didn't do that. They just went
Hmm.
episodic, which was super boring. Yeah, I want to see Dante do cool shit, but I want to see doing cool shit with a purpose.
And that was one thing I was going to ask you too, because it seemed like a lot of the action scenes were fairly forgettable, which isn't, which it feels like it's besmirching the franchise because that's part of the thing is like being stylish, but like you said, it's like with a purpose, right? And am I? I guess like with some of the action sequences, like did you feel similar or am I off base here?
Say that one more time.
So like the action sequences in the anime, right? Did they
Mm.
feel forgettable to you, or it's just or did they stand out? Where it's just like, okay, yeah, this is some of the maneuvers that I remember in the games, like that same barrel whirl, or because like the only thing that I can think of that really stood out to me was when he was fighting. There was that one demon where it was the motorcycle demon
Yeah,
where
yeah,
that was that was mad goofy too because the way that they had the race, like they were racing and like one guy was like um I guess like the premise is like it was like this biker gang where this demon would always go and challenge these guys, and if they end up getting going faster than the demon, then the demon would end up eating them or snatching them up somehow while they're on the road. And I remember like Dante was racing this one guy, and then the demon comes up and starts getting in front of them, and Dante's trying to get into the slipstream, and then the other guy like puts his nos on, and it felt very 2000s or like back when Fast and the Furious was hot, and like nos was like, oh my goodness, they're using the nos,
yeah,
like just like that extra boost thing. But
yeah.
trying to cut the rambling short, but I remember like the one thing that stood out to me as far as like Dante doing something fairly cool was when he
Mm.
was fighting when the demon, the bike demon had transformed and was trying to go after Dante. Dante had like stabbed it, and then he was
Mm.
sort of balancing his sword off of his knee while he was shooting the demon. So he was essentially
Mm.
stabbing and shooting the demon at the same time, and I was like, that's kind of cool, but that was like the most I guess, impressed that I was as far as some of the action sequences go in this anime. So I guess the question would be is like, how did you feel about some of the action sequences in this anime? Was it forgettable? Was
Lacking.
it good?
It was
Lacking?
lacking. It was lacking. It was lacking. Lacking. There was nothing really there
Mm-hmm.
to like stop you when you're playing as Dante, you're being stylish.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing really stylish in this show. There were some cool moments, like when Dante will be saying something to somebody, and then he like the like when he was like the first episode, he's in the bar
Yeah.
and he's talking, and he's like a demon, just like he says, "Hey, it smells like blood." And he's like demon says, "Oh, word," and he just shoots the demon, and I'm just like,
Yes.
okay, that's the Dante that I'm looking for, but we
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that consistently.
Yeah, it was just very sparse throughout.
Yeah, it wasn't like I'm like, all right, man, this is all right, bro. Like, cool, let's wrap this up.
I guess like another thing too, like it's not something that's necessarily like talked about in the game, and I guess like that's something that they could have um, explored a little bit in the anime was I guess like the type of weapons that were used for demons. It's I'm assuming they're not normal bullets, but they make it seem like he just has like regular bullets. So it's just making me think is like why don't other people just shoot demons too? If Dante can just go in and with guns akimbo, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that's
Uh
ever explored, or is that just more tedious, nitpicky stuff that's not necessarily addressed?
some demons actually do use guns, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of few and far in between. That's kind of like Dante's thing because like why do we use guns when I'm stronger than
Okay. Well,
like they're not like you're not Dante because they won't need it because like you're not Dante.
and I guess like
Like
that.
we don't.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, you're good.
No, because when you mentioned that, because when Lady first runs into Trish, and Trish summons these magic pistols and starts shooting at Lady, she's like, "Yeah,
Hmm.
she was dual wielding guns just like somebody else I know," like talking to Dante, trying to insinuate that they know
Hmm.
each other. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, so she uses guns too. So I guess like that's what was lost on me. It's just like I didn't realize like it was that big of a deal for somebody to use guns in the Devil May Cry universe.
Uh, well, no, because like
Mm-hmm.
so part five actually explains where Dante got his guns from because you meet one of the girls whose ancestors, or I think grandmother, created the guns for Dante to use.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she's a part of that lineage. Um, but Trish and Dante like met, and then that's what Dante's been using those guns, and Trish was like, oh, and Trish is the whole ass demon.
Yeah.
So she's using guns because like Dante, but my whole thing was in the episode where Trish meets Lady, she wasn't trying to kill Lady
Oh no, she wasn't.
like at all. She wasn't trying to kill Lady, but she was trying to defend herself,
Mm-hmm.
and so she was just kind of doing stuff, and she was like, "Wait a minute, this reminds me of Dante." Is it Dante? Do you know? He's like, "Nope, I don't know her." Only for Dante to be like, "I knew it was you." Like, come on, what are you doing?
It's I, part of the writings just oof.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Oh my goodness.
It's not good. Like I said, it's not even
Mm-hmm.
like doo it's not even doo doo butter. It's
Yeah.
just like the middest of mid. This is not even the enjoyable mid that you can cut on. It's just mid.
I would say like to try to give a little bit of positivity to this anime. Um, when I was watching, one thing that was kind of interesting and that seemed experimental to me, sort of like experimental in a cool way, because I don't know if you were able to catch this, because like whenever a character was off camera, they tried to make the sound match with the relative distance that they were to the characters that were on camera. So going back to when everybody's in the church, Trish,
Mm,
Lady, and Dante, right? And the
mm,
camera wasn't on all of them all the time, but like Dante would say something, then the camera would be on Trish, and then it would sound like Dante's like further away, right?
mm.
And like with that, like it like some of the times it was like, okay, that's kind of interesting, like that's an interesting take, but I feel like because of all the other negatives on the anime, I just automatically throw it into the negative bucket, even though like it's one of those experimental things that can be that looks like it has promise to be good if done well. Um, but was that something that you were able to pick up on or no?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I
Yeah.
treated that as like they didn't have enough. They didn't have enough in the budget to animate everybody talking at once.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Like you focus on Trish and Dante's talking.
But like the thing is, like
It's just like
when
let's.
Dante's talking, like he's like further away, like you can hardly hear him. I had to throw subtitles up there sometimes
Yeah,
because he was like on the other side of the room. Like,
yeah, I get it. The
yeah.
execution would have been nice, but it's kind of like you could have just like what are we doing there? Like how do you want to
Mm-hmm.
animate this?
Yeah, it's I don't. I guess like it is a bit disheartening because like it is Madhouse. Like we've seen them do better stuff, and then
Hmm.
to have this be underneath like their works, it's just I guess like you can't always bat 1,000, right? Like you have like
No.
you have like your off days, and
Hmm.
I guess this must have been like their off season or something else like that.
This was definitely something that they try to take advantage of for like hey maybe this can be the next best thing, but it was not getting the return on investment that they were looking for. Like they made it a one shot. If it was actually worth anything, if it was actually worth something, we probably would have gotten a whole series from this. But it was only a one shot and it was done. Like and now we're getting a new anime back and they're planning 3 seasons of that. Because the second one the second season already got I believe already got greenlit.
Really,
So
even
yeah.
before it was released. Okay,
Hmm.
so I guess like we can talk a little bit about like the newer anime because I feel what because we've only seen like trailers and promo videos, and it's supposed to come out in next week or the week after next, I believe, like early April.
Next week or April 4th or 5th.
Yeah, and from what you've seen, Shaggy, what do you think that we should expect going into this new Devil May Cry series?
Okay, based on what I'm seeing,
Hmm.
it looks like it's Devil May Cry. It's a starting of Devil May Cry 3, or at least continuation of Devil May Cry 3. Because you're getting a younger, which is that's Dante's design from Devil May Cry 3.
Hmm.
Um, it looks like we're gonna get Lady. I don't know about we're getting Trish. We're getting. It looks like if you look at the animated opening trailer of that with the Limp Bizkit, some people are excited on. They're kind of loving it. They're kind of hating it because of the song choices. Because some people want the music from the actual game, and
Yeah.
then like, but also people like me, I'm like, nope, this is the type of music Dante would have listened to at the time point. So I get it.
I'm biased because it's on my workout playlist, so it's just like hell yeah, let's go.
Yes. It is. It is. We're gonna get. I think we're gonna get. The way I'm thinking they're gonna end up telling this is they're gonna go Devil May Cry 3, 1, 2, 4. I don't know about part 5, but they're gonna cover damn near 4 of the games. Because you got young Dante, but there's a little bit of there's weapons that if you look at the beginning of the video, there's
Hmm.
weapons that cover damn near all 4 games.
Oh, so
Uh,
you think that we may get uh, a retelling of all the games? Like I guess just like a brief synopsis.
More than likely,
Okay.
Probably something like a retelling of all the games. I don't know how far it's gonna end up going because I only
Mm-hmm.
know they had the first and then they probably second season. I don't know if they're gonna get cover all of it, but like because that opening you have Dante's sword, you have Virgil's sword, you have Nero's sword, who we didn't even talk about because he is the character they reintroduced in 4.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert, that's Virgil's son.
Yeah, and did they never really addressed his mother, did they?
No, but like if you
Mm-hmm.
stick up with like some of the lore with Virgil, you can kind of tell that Virgil kind of fell for a woman that lived in Nero City when he was visiting there. They covered the story of how
They never said the who.
um they never said who,
Mm-hmm.
but like they literally said it's kind of like what happened with Dante and Virgil's parents. A demon man falls in love with a human, and they kind of have a kid. But Virgil is like the dad that goes out for milk and doesn't come back unless he's trying to get more power.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, because he does come back. But
That damn
yeah, no,
Elizabeth.
that motherfucker's like I'm home, but I heard you've gotten. It's like I've heard you gotten stronger, boy, and just kind of just yeah. But no, he um he legitimately comes into this shit and just goes and just takes up shit, and it's cool uh for that to see all of the stuff. So it's kind of like, oh shit, are we gonna cover part 4?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the truth, that's gonna be dope because then you get Nero because his gun because Nero's sword is um and then you see Lady and everything. So they're gonna be probably covering a lot. Also, we're gonna cover the anime. Fuck, I keep saying anime. The prequel manga with the White Rabbit or Rabby, what some people call him. But yeah, that's what was gonna be expected. I also fully expect more action and more fight choreographed fight scenes
Yeah.
because like that was they knew that that's what the animated series was lacking. So they're gonna end up bringing that back and make it more of a Devil May Cry type thing. Also, the music gonna be on point. The guy was like the director of the show is saying we are going to have there from the game that fans will recognize,
Oh, okay. That will be
but
good. Yeah.
there will be music of the game, and he said there will be even remixed versions of the musics from the game. So it's kind of like okay, let's hear from that.
Ooh.
But he says every season has an era of music
Okay.
or it has an era of metal. Like this one right here is what we're
So,
getting in like 99 early
yeah,
2000s
the new metal.
music. That's why we got Limp Bizkit. And if you
Mm-hmm.
go look at the newer trailer, they're using Evanescence.
Oh. No, no, yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Like that was more of a music video, but okay, I can see
Yeah.
what you're saying now because I did I want to say was that one of Evanescence's newer songs? I say newer like I've followed Evanescence. It's
Well, no, Evanescence was like mid 2000s.
yeah.
Like they're definitely like early new metal
Mm-hmm.
type of like not even they can't keep they you can't consider them new metal, but like they're alternative, but
Yeah.
they were still there in like 2003, 2004 um type, and he's like literally covering the early 2000s with that type of music. And he said the next season will be like the 2010s of that
Oh,
music.
okay. So I'm just thinking is like, do you think that we'll get uh the Linkin Park meme where it's like for what I've done, like
Yeah.
I could just see like that being like a closer for one of the episodes or like the end of the season or something else like that. That would be hilarious. Um, but you had
Oh my
mentioned
God.
that they're possibly looking at remixing some of the songs. Is there a specific song that you think
Mm.
that the franchise is looking for, or is there a particular song that you are looking for to be remixed?
Ooh. Devil Oh my God, you're gonna make me go to my playlist. There's like so many. There's so many songs. There's so many songs. Let me go to my Devil May Cry playlist here. I want to hear Devils Never Cry, which is from the third game.
Okay.
Um, I want to hear The Time Has Come. Um, and it's just like those are some songs that it's pretty much from part three
Yeah.
that I want to hear. And then like, but part four, I don't want to hear songs from part four necessarily unless I know Nero is around. But and I'm gonna share that music and I'm gonna share this playlist with you.
Oh yeah, for
Uh,
sure. I'll go ahead. I'll link it in the links. And
yeah.
I feel like do you think like that? So do you think that they will tease Nero by playing like a little bit of his music, and like
They've already teased him with
yeah,
his sword.
okay,
The Red Queen. It's a large it's kind of it's not a buster sword, but
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
large sword, but he
the
revs that bitch up.
yeah
It's
the one in the
in the
beginning.
trailer.
So like
Yeah, it's in the trailer.
is the Red Queen? Is it like a chain sword or because I know he revs it up, but like is there an actual chain like in the sword that moves, or what is he revving up, or they don't go into that?
Um no, it's how the sword was made.
Okay.
It's just how the sword was made. It's it revs up and it does like more heat damage.
Oh, okay. Because I think like the guard of of the Red Queen like simulates like a clutch. So I
Yeah.
it's like does it go into like different gears, or it just revs up?
It can go into different gears. Like in game, you can kind of
Oh,
rev it up like three times.
that's
You can
cool.
rev it up three times to max it out, and then you can just do it from there.
No, that would be hella dope. Um, I guess so. We've seen with this older anime how when they brought in new characters,
Hmm.
what are some but you said that like it seems like they've learned a little bit from some of their mistakes in the old anime. Like they're now adding like new fight choreography, and it seems like they are now getting strong, having stronger ties to the video games. And I do feel like they're probably going to be introducing newer characters. Are there certain archetypes that you hope that they stick to or they stay away from in introducing newer characters in the anime?
I don't know because
Mm-hmm.
like this is what I love about it. I don't know what they're going to be doing
Okay.
because in the trailer that they showed us, they're going to be the characters that the characters that they've alluded to have literally been in some type of form of the Devil May Cry just anything. Like they're either from the
Oh yeah,
manga,
they've either
they're either from the
been from
manga.
yeah.
Yeah, they're either coming from the manga, they're coming from the games, or like that's it. Like they're coming from some quarter of the lore. So like the White Rabbit
Mm-hmm.
from the manga. There's Mundus in there from part one. There's there's oh my god. Uh he's part three and he starts with an A. Oh no. There's the villain from part three and hold on, I got that's gonna bother me. May cry villain. It is Angstrom.
Angstrom.
No,
Oh,
wait.
Angstrom.
Not Angstrom. No, not Arkham. Arkham. I'm
Arkham. Okay.
tripping. Yeah, Arkham from part three. I've seen that. There are characters from, like I said, there's characters from the manga and everything. So like, I don't know if they're gonna reintroduce new. I don't know if they're gonna make new characters just for the show only,
Mm-hmm.
or they're just gonna use the characters that haven't been used outside of the games and the manga and the books and stuff. They're gonna just throw them in there.
I feel like with what you said, it seems like they're going to be going with that second route, where it's like they're probably going to be using more obscure characters or characters that have been alluded to, because at least like that way, it's not. it's not as jarring as the blonde-headed chick was with the previous work, where it's just like, why is Dante babysitting this little girl, right? Like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Whereas like,
yeah. I would also. The funny thing is, I also expect the little girl to be mentioned.
okay, to be at least mentioned or to be seen.
Yeah, I don't know about scene
Mm-hmm.
because this is gonna be young, but like if Dante grows older, if this show goes on and it's kind of like covering Dante's like life
Mm-hmm.
by decades, then to be I fully expect her for them to talk about her in a sense of like, hey, she existed.
I was like, oh, how's she doing? It's like, oh yeah, she started her new clothing line. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, cool, on to the next mission or
yeah,
something like that.
exactly. Something small, like it'll be name dropped because it's
Okay.
I guess what I'm getting at is they're gonna try to stay as close. They're gonna try and use as much of the lore as they can, and that is canon lore now. So like,
Okay, so then, how many strawberry sundaes do you think that we're gonna see Dante eat in this new one?
over under, ooh, probably I'm gonna say one an episode.
One an episode? Okay,
I'm gonna say one an episode.
that'll be good.
If he doesn't have one, if it only gets mentioned, cool. But like, I think it's maybe like one episode. I don't think he'll be like I give more the fact that he'll be eating pizza and he'd had the strawberry sundae.
Yeah, like we'll see like the strawberry sundae like finished and him like starting on like another slice of pizza or something like that. I can see
Yeah,
that.
him ordering the strawberry sundae.
Okay. Oh, that's fair. Oh my goodness, dude. So no, like that's oh man, that this was a good talk. Is there was there any other like final thoughts or lingering soda fizz that you needed to get out of your system?
Um, I recommend for you, sir, to go out and go play at least Devil May Cry 3, or hell, if you can get your hands on it, Devil May Cry 5.
Okay.
Because you not playing any of the original series bothers me. It does, but like it doesn't bother me to where it pisses me off. But I'm like, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Because I know, like in our private talks, like we had, like I had been interested in getting five, but you feel as though like three is also a good starting point. And I guess like that was also another thing too. So with the last anime, no, I think I think I had asked you that earlier, but I guess like with this newer anime that's coming out, do
Mhm.
you feel as though that you can go in there blind, or do you think that we should at least play three or five before watching the anime?
You can go in there blind because I think they're gonna end up retelling a lot of that story.
Mm-hmm.
But high key, me personally, I would always tell you to play at least one. I would say my personal favorite is 3 or 5, but
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite games of all time is part 3. But like five can probably be easier to obtain because it's still kind of newer.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be probably easier to play and not have to worry about the camera angles and stuff. So like you can play that, but you can go into the show blind. It's like Dante is a popular enough character, and soon he'll be in Fortnite.
Oh
That's how
no,
you
he's
know he
not.
made it.
He's going to be in Fortnite soon.
There are rumors that it's him and Virgil in Fortnite coming down the road.
Oh my goodness, that is going to be
That is
insane.
that's a game that I stayed away from. Even with the Mortal Kombat characters they've been dropping now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, but if the day Dante and Virgil pop up in that game,
I,
I'm gonna just open my wallet.
I,
I'm just
I,
opening my wallet and buying the character and just like, all right, I guess I'm playing this now.
I can just imagine. I'm thinking like some of the emotes that they have. Like for some reason, I think this is from. It's either from four. I think it's from four, where because one thing that it seems like they like to do in the Devil May Cry games is like after a finishing blow, or as Dante is doing a finishing blow, he likes to do some sort of dance number or something iconic in regards to like beating a big boss. And I want to say it's 4 because I remember him doing this flamenco dance and having like this rose in his teeth, because I think the weapon was, he had like these boots that had some sort of like drill thing on them.
Yep, that's part 4.
And like I'm just talking about Fortnite, like I'm thinking that like his emote dance would be like something akin to that. And I'm just thinking, it's like for Virgil, it's like, what sort of dance do you think that they're going to have Virgil do? Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah.
me personally, I don't think it'll be a dance.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be like because you can hear the characters talk, but you can't hear them talk. I would probably it'll probably one of them saying jackpot. So it'll be Dante doing a dance saying jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
Virgil, if they fucking love us, if they love us,
If they know the
they
fan
will
base
have
well enough.
if they know the fan base and the meme culture, they would put Virgil in a chair, but not one of those not a throne, not a like a chair fit for a king. It's one of those white lawn chairs that he's just gonna sit in that you can get
Really?
from like Walmart from 12. Dude, look that meme up. Look that meme up. If they give us that, this will be the best fucking shit ever. I shit you not. Because they got Virgil looking like you got Virgil looking so cool, and then he sits down in a lawn chair. People will flip their goddamn minds, brother.
Oh my
It is
goodness. I don't know why. Like
it is
I'm
a
just thinking like Southern comfort, like having him sit down like with a glass of like lemonade or something else like that.
nah, bro. He just sits in the chair menacingly. He just sits in the chair menacingly, brother. That is him. That is him.
Oh my goodness. I'm
Like they just put him in a plastic chair. Dude, I'm about to send you the picture of
yes.
like what it looks like when Virgil is just sitting in here, bro. I'm telling you.
That
I'm
would
telling
be
you, this is
great.
exactly like they just have to do that. I threw it in the thing and it's just
Oh
like
yes,
they
I
they
see it.
want
Oh, so it's okay because when you said the white lawn chair, like I was thinking about like it says like on a porch where it's like the chair is like sort of leaning
mm,
back, but no, this is like this is that Walmart like dollar
yes.
store plastic chair. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's like that Thanos
They were like,
set where
bro,
it's like at the
yeah.
end of it all.
It's from the part it's in part 5
Hmm.
where you're fighting Virgil, but Virgil is sitting on like a makeshift chair, and then people just modded it. People just kind of just took that chair and turned it into that, and it was like this is the greatest thing ever. Like just sitting, like, you can kind of sit him sitting there, just like menacing, waiting, like Dante, I knew you'd come, and it's just him sitting in a day. But it's just like, yo, take that out, put that fucking chair there, and it's the greatest thing. If
Oh my goodness,
the
yes.
Fortnite, if the Epic Game gods give us that, I will play Fort. I will go on and make Fortnite my main game. I don't give a damn what else I'm playing. If you put Virgil in that chair, I will just be like, I am going to announce that I am just playing Fortnite forever. Like that, that is the game. That is the game of choice for me.
Oh my goodness.
And
The one way to get Shaggy into Fortnite is to give Virgil the white plastic chair. Like
chair, just
that's
give him the chair.
just give him the
I
chair.
will. I will main that. I will literally. I will buy. I will like. I will just do. Oh my god, dude! It'd be like, nope, greatest fucking game. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, that would be hilarious. And so quick one more question before we start to wind things down. Like, do you think that they will address any of the memes or try to reference any uh, big memes in the new anime, or they're just not going to pay attention to that?
Um, I think I don't. They'll probably do a meme here or there, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't because I know it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be uh like a dark comedy type of beat. Like it's gonna be
Oh,
stylish.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a dark, but it's still gonna have its like funny moments.
Yeah.
But know if they are going to do like meme culture with that. They can, but they'll probably do. I don't think they'll do memes. I think they'll kind of like take the things that Dante's known for and put it in there
Okay. No. No.
versus
Yeah.
like any memes that have been coming around now.
It's just funny because like when you talk about the lawn chairs, like how many people do you think is just gonna flip their lids if they see like Virgil sitting in a lawn chair like in the anime, right?
Listen, people will lose their mind. People will
It's like
lose
they
their
did it.
goddamn
They did
mind.
it.
They did it. Oh my god.
They.
They did it, bro.
Oh man. This was great. Great. Let me go ahead because right now on the video, like we're in the Devil May Cry studio. So let me just like bring us back to the regular studio, and like we can wind things down a bit, man. Dude, I felt like my whole outlook on the series has been rejuvenated, so to speak, because it seemed like it was a very fun franchise, and now I know like
I'm
that there
telling you.
there there are memes like the white lawn chair and stuff like that. It's just I kind of want to go and see because I want to say like when I was playing the Devil May Cry reboot, like they were doing like some tongue in cheek stuff because like uh I think their stand-in for Mundus was like the president. It was like some business conglomerate guy, and he was like on,
Yeah.
on this news thing, and he had this "fuck it, we'll do it live" moment where like it
Hmm.
was tongue in cheek to a reporter who did that like not even a few months before the game was released. So
Hmm.
I can see them, like you said, like they would sort of like cherry pick some stuff and just like sprinkle it in there. It's like, yeah, we're with the times. We're here. It's like we know about the chair. Stuff like that. And ah, dude, it's just like I kind of wish that the older anime had as much energy and as much. I don't know if this would even be right, but like I guess like the same care as what this newer anime is going to have. But oh, I guess like this is another thing too because I'm sorry, like I'm trying to wind this down, but I keep coming
You're
up with
good.
more questions because
You're good.
because like Devil May Cry 4 and this anime it came out in tandem. And with this new anime that's coming out, do you think that there's going to be a new game in the mix that's going to be coming out in the future, or are they just going to just capitalize on the anime and see where that goes?
They're gonna capitalize on the anime and see where that
Mm-hmm.
goes. But like we've wanted a Cry game for a minute. But I don't. Me personally, with the way Capcom's been going,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're gonna get a Devil May Cry 6. I think we may get a Devil May Cry 1 full on remake like they've been doing with the Resident Evil games.
Oh, like an HD remake. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I've oddly enough, I think that would be good. It would be a new resurgence of the franchise. I think it would be a little bit easier for newer gamers to come in because one thing that you had mentioned was the the fixed cameras in some of the games because that was
Hmm.
something that they had. Was it? They even had it in Devil May Cry 4, correct? Like it was like the DMC reboot and 5 where they had the cameras that were free. Am I correct in that or
Yeah,
wrong?
the cameras. So DMC One's camera was kind of wonky.
Mm-hmm.
Not it wasn't terrible, but it was like wonky. Devil May Cry 3 again, not the best camera, but still really good. And then like, but then it was a free camera and like it was fixed. It was kind of like a fix free. You can kind of move it
Okay.
around,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't contain you. So that was like 4 and 5.
Okay. So like I could see them like trying to like implement some of those elements, and I'm just thinking because like as you said earlier, it's like it seems like they want to get away from two as much as they can. So I feel as though like if they do release an HD collection, I feel like it's just going to be 1 and 3, and they're not even going to like pay attention to two, because of like how
Yeah,
everybody felt about it.
that's kind of what's happening. Like they've literally so with part 2, they've literally there's HD collections where you get 1, 2, 3,
Mm-hmm.
but like their focal point is like, hey, here's Devil May Cry 1 and here's 2. I mean, here's Devil May Cry 3 and 1 and maybe 2. There's 2 there too.
Like two, we won't talk about. So I'm just thinking because like with two, like everybody was just saying just like they would just you just needed to up the difficulty, but I feel as though like if
You,
that was just the
you can
case, like they could like they would have done that, but I feel like there may be more problems that the game has aside from that that the fans just aren't satisfied with.
yeah. It's not the greatest, brother. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's not the greatest, but like it is what it is. People are people will deal. Um and people will go like people will deal with it, but also people will find a way to like really enjoy this. So I'm with the games. Like I honestly think we're probably going to be getting it because the only reason I
Mm-hmm.
say we're getting another remake is because of the fact that the Resident Evil series that they've been doing, the 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
especially the Resident Evil 4 that just
Mm-hmm.
recently that came re-released back out, that's been doing numbers, and a lot of people have been to re-release part 1 of Devil May Cry.
I'm actually kind of surprised that because, as you said, like it seems like Devil May Cry was tied to Resident Evil. So, well, no, it kind of makes sense. I was going to say like if they do another release for like some Resident Evil, that they would also then drop Devil May Cry. But because of the anime, they don't necessarily have to do that. Devil May Cry is getting its own Steam. But no, man, it's dude. And again, Shaggy, thanks for coming on, brother, and giving us your thoughts. I know, like, it seems like we were. I know it seems like we were mainly in the game sphere for this go around. But then again, like it's just a bit hard to sparse it because of like how um what's the phrase? I guess like how intertwined this is with the video game franchise. And again, thank you for giving us that uh, crash course taste in CinemaVillains and regarding Sid the Mid that we had
There you
for
go.
the villain. And before we sign off, why don't you tell the good people where they can find you and some of the projects that you've been working on or any new projects that you have coming up?
Yeah, not a problem. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. That's Cinema Villains. You can also find us on YouTube at cinema_villains. You can also find us at on the Twitters at same with the same at
Not X.
cinema_villains. Nah, it's mama named it Twitter. I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna call it Twitter. Um, so we're gonna like there's that. I also have a if you are into wrestling at all, I have a YouTube with SCW Syndicate Championship Wrestling. I have a link for that on my YouTube there. I'll share that with you. That is home of the that is the home to the hardest hitting fake virtual fighting you will find on the internet. I've been doing that with some friends for a few, just trying to get that off the ground, and that's pretty much all I got.
Nice. I'm glad that you had mentioned the wrestling because now that I think about it, did you ever watch Ultimate Muscle?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I feel like we might need to have a part two and have you come on and talk about that and flex your
Hell yeah, man.
and flex your wrestling know-how. But
Yeah, I've got to find a place to rewatch it. I got a place, but I got a place to rewatch that.
I've only seen the new. I think it's a sequel series. It's they call it
It's
Kinnikuman on Netflix.
that's like a retelling of the original anime.
Oh, okay. But like you said, we'll go ahead and we'll do some research, see what we can come up with. Because it's not only you, but I have like some other interested guests that are big wrestling fans, and it'll be interesting to get like a dialogue. But I feel like I need to have a crash course in wrestling before I can do that. But like I said, it's definitely something that we can talk about, see about like for future episodes.
Not a problem, man. I'll be here
All right, man.
whenever you need.
Appreciate you, sir. And again, thank you for coming on. And for the listeners, thank you for your time, and see you on the next one.